Hello, and welcome to Getting Results with Google. This video will cover a little background on Google, as well as how to develop a research strategy and how to narrow or broaden your Google results with search operators. Now, I'm assuming by now most people have used Google before, and maybe even used Google to find this video. But for those who are new to the internet or grew up in a Yahoo or Ask Jeeves family, I'll provide a little bit of background. Google is a search engine that helps connect you with information on the internet. How does it work, you ask? Google uses web crawlers to gather and organize information into a search index. As a user, you can then input your search terms and parameters called search operators that will help you locate the information you need online. However, sometimes Google works a little too well in its recall and even boasts billions of results in a half a second or less. This is all well and good, especially when the first few results fulfill your information need. But what if the first few results aren't relevant? Who has the time to look through billions of results? That's where strategic searching becomes your best approach. Before we get started, it may be helpful to write out our research question. This is an open-ended question that helps direct our research, and I'll propose a scenario. Let's say I'm creating a SWOT analysis about Amazon, and I'm curious about the company's external threats. I happen to have a little bit of background knowledge that Amazon is facing an antitrust investigation because of its potentially monopolistic behaviors, and I'm interested in finding some primary and secondary information that elaborate on this issue. By the way, Google is also facing similar scrutiny, but that's for another video. So I draft the research question, which government regulations pose a risk to Amazon? Now, whether you're searching with Google or a library database, quality keywords are essential. Since we now have our research question, we can pull the key concepts and turn these into search terms. You can copy and paste this question directly into Google, but it includes a bunch of unnecessary search terms that may affect your results. To keep it simple, I'm just going to circle government regulations and Amazon. However, I could probably also circle risk too. Then I begin to clarify these terms, and I also think about possible synonyms and related terms. With government regulations, I could include related concepts like legislation, court decisions, or even throw in antitrust law since I have that background knowledge already. And with Amazon, I could say Amazon Inc., Amazon.com Inc., their ticker symbol AMZN, or any other identifying variant. Now, Google actually does a pretty good job including synonyms automatically with your search, but it's worth thinking through the terms and being intentional in your selection. This will help improve the relevancy of your results. So now that we have a search strategy, let's play around with some search operators. All right, so in Google, I'm going to type in Amazon, government, and threat and see what happens. So we have about 74 million results, which makes sense because these terms are pretty broad. And we also see some products sold by Amazon that contain both terms government and threat. So because we're looking for information about Amazon and not items sold through Amazon, we can use the exclude operator to clean up our results. To do that, we just add a dash, and then I'm going to put Amazon.com. We're also getting a couple of results about the Amazon rainforest, so we can exclude that as well by adding a dash in the word rainforest. Next, I'm going to try a search that includes antitrust laws. This isn't essential in this case, but since this term includes two words, I can choose to search it as an exact phrase by adding two quotation marks around our terms. Now the results will include websites that use antitrust laws together in that order. As mentioned previously, I'm interested in both primary and secondary sources. For primary, also known as original sources, we may want to check out government information, which typically falls under the primary source category. One trick is to use the operator cite, which is all lowercase, plus a colon, and then specify that we are interested in the gov domain. Also, make sure that there's no space after the colon. Now all of our results are government websites. We can also do this for .com, .edu, and .org, as well as full websites. So if we wanted a secondary news sources, for example, we could say cite colon nytimes.com, and our search results will only contain pages from the New York Times. You can also refine by file type preference. So let's say I was interested in PDFs because they were easy to download and save. I add file type, colon, and then PDF or some other format like PPT or PPTX for PowerPoint, XLS for Excel, or Doc for Word documents, and then there's a bunch of other ones too. And then hit enter, and now all of our results are PDFs. To ensure the currency of the information, we might want to employ a number range operator to include results from the last 3 years. Just type in the starting year, so we'll do 2018, and then 2 periods, and then 2020. This will pull results that include those numbers somewhere in the site's metadata. This also searches number ranges in general, so you could use this for measurements and price ranges too. The last operator that we're going to talk about is OR, which can be used to broaden your search results. When you use OR, you're essentially doing 2 separate searches at the same time, where you're retrieving results that either have term 1 or term 2. This can be a useful way of stringing together synonyms and related concepts, so we could include antitrust laws or regulations to search for both at the same time. To summarize, using quotations around terms searches them as an exact phrase. Using the cite operator allows you to specify a specific domain like .gov or a website like the New York Times. You can also filter by file type, like in our PDF example. And you can exclude terms like rainforest to limit irrelevant results. You can also use the number range operator for years, dollar amounts, and measurements. And finally, you can use the operator OR to broaden your search results to include either term. If you forget how to do the operators, that's okay. The advanced search tool includes designated fields that achieve the same thing. Quick note, if you have previously used Google Advanced Search Operators, you might want to know that the following operators have been discontinued: related, link, info, plus, and synonym. The last one didn't really go away. It's just that Google now searches for synonyms automatically, so the tilde synonym operator became redundant. Bonus tip! Probably one of the most useful shortcuts on the internet is using either Control F if you're a PC user or Command F if you're a Mac user. When you use these keyboard shortcuts on websites, a little search box pops up on either the top or the bottom of the screen, depending on your browser, and then you can search for a word or phrase within the body of any searchable text. This allows you to jump to the section you're interested in and saves you time because you don't have to wade through unnecessary information. This trick also works in PDFs that have been OCR scanned and Word documents. That concludes this short video on getting results with Google. Please let us know if you have questions or contact the Parish Library using the Ask a Librarian chat service.